Is it okay to lay down when I'm meditating? This is a very common question, and you might be wondering why your teacher is telling you to not lie down but to meditate while sitting. So this is one of the most frequently asked questions in meditation, especially when it comes to beginners. Because most beginners have the experience that it seems to be easier for them to go deeper into their meditative state when they are lying down. So very commonly beginners are asking, is it okay that I lie down when meditating? And the answer is yes, but no. So I will emphasize more on the no, because there is certain downsides, certain negative implications which come from lying down in meditation. And the most obvious one we will explore later on is that you might fall asleep. But there are many other catches, so we will explore them step by step in this video and see the pros and cons in a differentiated view. We try to understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of meditating in sitting versus in lying down. So let's take a closer, more systematic look at this topic so you can have a clear understanding that you can get the best benefits for your own meditation practice and that you're not compromising your own experience. Because that's of course a pity if you're taking the time to meditate. Finally, you're making time in your life to show up to meditate, and then you're only getting half of the benefits. That's a pity, and we of course want to avoid that and use our time wisely. So generally speaking, the point is that a sitting pose helps us to be more alert, more focused, because of course it corresponds to the wakeful state. Either I'm sitting, I'm standing, or I'm walking, but in any case, my spine is in a vertical, upright position. So this just out of habit, out of experience for our body-mind, that is the common situation that we are awake with a vertical spine. And it's very common that when we lie down, our body-mind knows that's time for sleeping. So the tendency, the danger is that when we meditate lying down, that there is an increased risk of falling asleep. And that might be actually just the right thing for you, because you might be sleep deprived from irregular sleep rhythms, lack of sleep due to deadlines, projects, responsibilities in your life, or just binge watching some TV series or whatever it might be, why you are sleep deprived, and your body mind is actually calling for some more sleep. And then if you start your lying down meditation, the body directly feels like, that is a good moment for a nap to catch up with the sleep that I was lacking in the last days, weeks, months. So very common and maybe very appropriate for you to just take a nap. That's perfectly fine and might be the most relevant and urgent thing for you, and will be in many ways the most beneficial actually recovery and regeneration for your own body mind to just take a nap. And yeah, you might say it's a kind of meditative sleep, but in most cases it's just a nap, and that's perfectly fine, and it is very restorative and can help you a lot to recharge, to recover, to revitalize yourself. Yet we have to see that meditation is not just sleeping. Yes, there are similarities and overlaps actually between the brainwave states in sleeping and the brainwave states and patterns of brain waves which are arising during meditative states. So there are similarities of alpha relaxation brain waves and theta and delta brain waves, which are happening both in sleep and in meditation. So yes, there is similarities between meditation and sleep, yet they are definitely not the same. So the danger is that we develop a problematic habit of when we are getting ready for a meditation, that our body mind assumes it's time for a nap, and then we confuse the two and we are actually getting ready for a sleep. And meditation is not a sleeping type of relaxation. In meditation we are actually on the opposite, very awake, very lucid, clear, sharp, focused. So we in a way take the best of the wakeful state of alertness, lucidity, sharpness, and clarity, We take the best of the wakeful state and blend it in with a deep relaxation that we can experience in profound sleep states. So we mix the best of the wakefulness and the best of the sleep together and take the best of both worlds. But it is not about one or the other separately, because the tendency is that either we are hyperactive in our mind during meditation, we're actually not meditating, we're just going through our to-do lists and project management, planning, etc. So then we're just in regular beta brain waves, wakeful state of to-do list type of thinking. So we're very awake and too much focused on that aspect, and we're lacking the relaxation of the sleep. Or we are getting sleepy and tired, and we go all the way to the sleeping state, and that is also not meditation. So we need to find the balance between the two, and that actually happens most easily in a fixed and stable sitting pose, where we are not fidgeting, not moving. We keep the body stable yet relaxed. So we're not walking around, we're not fidgeting, moving, we're sitting still, and we're kind of relaxing as much as we can, as if we would be sleeping and lying down. But we're not lying down. Because if we're lying down, then we go too much in that direction of falling asleep. You got the point. And it is very experiential. Give it a try. Even if you're not fast asleep and completely knocked out nodding in your lying down meditation, the tendency is that we are less clear, sharp, focused, but a bit more kind of compromised in our clarity. We are a bit more dazed and, I don't want to say confused, but more drifting. It's a more passive state, which of course corresponds to that relaxation of lying down. So it's a strong tendency to have a certain daydreaming in the lying down attempt of meditation, that we are just kind of having association chains, and we are thinking about this and that, and it's like a drifting, daydreaming type of attitude, which is not very conducive and supportive for actual deep, focused, lucid states of meditation, which might take us into altered states of consciousness. So finding that common ground, you are as relaxed in a sitting position as if you would be lying down, but keep the vertical upright position of the spine. Of course, there can be other reasons why you would want to be lying down. For example, that in the sitting pose, your legs are hurting. If you attempt a yogic pretzel pose of some crossed leg position, it might very well be that already after a few minutes, you can experience some uncomfortable situation, even some discomfort and pain in your knees, in your ankles, etc., which will cause you to not be stable and fixed in your body pose, but fidgeting, moving the legs, moving my feet, turning around, this, that, and then I'm restless and I'm too much in the wakeful state. I cannot go deeper because my body is disturbing me. So keep the body fixed and stable in one pose and find a comfortable position that you don't need to move, fidget, or out of avoiding of this uncomfortable, painful sitting positions where also my back starts to hurt and my shoulders get tight, my neck is stiff because I'm like, I'm suffering here in this sitting pose, then you might want to escape and it's so nice and sweet to just lie down and I can relax and go deeper in meditation so much more easily than in the sitting pose. Yeah, but the problem is actually that you didn't find a comfortable sitting pose yet. So find a way. In other sessions, we will talk more about the details, but just briefly saying right now here is that yes, it can be a crossed leg position. It doesn't need to be the perfect pose of Siddhasana with both heels on top of each other, but it might be just a plain crossed-legged tailor's pose, very open. Sit up very high on several pillows, have the pelvis tilting forward, and make yourself comfortable either crossed-legged or in a kneeling pose where you bring your feet backward and you can sit on a bolster or even 2 or 3 bolsters with additional pillows. Prop yourself up with various types of blankets. Also, if one knee is up in the air, place something under the knees, etc., etc. Again, we explore that in a separate session and in our yoga teacher trainings in greater detail. Not to mention in our meditation teacher training, where we go into the full Monty exploration of the physiology of the sitting poses. But for now, for you just here, make yourself comfortable. Use all the props, pillows, blankets you need to be at ease. Small pro tip, make it very comfortable under your ankles. You want to have something soft, like a triple folded blanket, which makes it more agreeable to your ankles, that you don't get these pressure points under your ankles, legs. Good, so make yourself comfortable. Why am I talking about this? You remember that you don't escape and say like, oh, I cannot sit anymore. I just want to lie down and meditate in lying down. It's not that there's a problem for you in sitting meditation, you just didn't find the comfortable pose yet, as I mentioned. And what is actually the best recommendation, to not underestimate the power of a simple position of sitting on a chair. So my personal recommendation and the recommendation of my meditation teacher, who's a master of this craft, is instead of forcing yourself to kind of stay here sitting on the floor with my crossed leg and I have pain and I'm so contracted, instead of suffering yourself into this painful situation with aggravation of the mind, just sit on a chair, make yourself comfortable there. But quick tip there, don't lean back. It's not a sofa type of meditation, but sit upright as if you would be on a stool. So vertical spine, usually unsupported, have your ankles under the knees, etc. So make yourself comfortable that you don't have to lie down because of pain in your body. Because when you're sitting upright, you have more possibility to actually have this verticality of the spine. It's very beneficial for the energies to move and possibly rise up in your body, to be relocated from the lower to the higher chakras. So that is a very common approach to focus our awareness, for example, in the chest area, on the heart chakra, on the throat chakra, on the third eye, or even on the 1,000-petaled crown chakra above your head. And the experience of not only generations and centuries, but of millennia of meditation practitioners who've been trying, they've been there and done that, and they found out that the vertical position has a variety of profound benefits related to altered states of consciousness and this cosmic consciousness of ecstatic ecstasy, where we are expanding into this universal states of pure awareness. So experience shows that it does work better. It is beyond the scope of this intro video to go into the details of that. I leave that for another session when we speak about the altered states of consciousness which can be induced via meditative practices. But for now, I'll just remain with that main emphasis. The formal meditation practice, with its breath awareness and its centering of the attention in the higher chakras, is preferably done in a sitting pose. One last bonus argument, which we definitely have to mention here. I'm not saying that it's not possible to have an altered state of consciousness in lying down, because this is actually a very profound practice as well, which is similar to meditation, but not necessarily the same as a seated meditation practice as it is formally known in the yogic tradition, in Buddhism, as well as in prayer. Speak in the Christian context or in the Muslim context, or whichever religion is close to your heart, that in the mosque, in the synagogue, in the church, you're lying down for your prayer. It's usually not done out of experience. So yes, prayer, contemplation, meditation traditionally has been done in a sitting pose. Yet The yogis go deeper than that because they know, and also the Buddha knew, that also lying down is a possible position for meditation, but it is a different type. It's a different approach with different rules of the game and also different results and benefits. In yoga, this is known as Nidra Yoga, or also called Yoga Nidra, the yoga of lucid sleep. So we lie down, we start with a final relaxation, Shavasana, and the body is melting, dissolving, maybe even disappearing, and you are floating in this twilight zone between wakefulness and sleep, and you are going beyond the just knocked out sleep, but you're having a lucid awareness during your sleep. That might not only lead to lucid dreaming, but even to a present moment awareness in deep sleep and much beyond that. We'll explore this topic of the Yoga Nidra, the lucid sleeping yoga practice, in other sessions. So I'm curious to explore further aspects of this wonderful yogic practice of meditation, contemplation in further videos. So I encourage you to leave a comment below to describe your experiences, what happened when you were lying down in meditation. Were you falling asleep? Yes or no? How long could you stay awake while meditating when lying down? What benefits did you experience when you were sitting up straight? I'm truly curious to read about your experiences so we can learn from each other. And if you want to learn about other topics such as how to find a comfortable pose in sitting meditation, how to meditate while lying down as a practice of yoga nidra, of yoga of lucid sleeping, then how about subscribing or liking our channel that you can benefit from the new videos which we'll publish soon. And I'm looking forward to share more insights from the Balinese yoga capital Ubud, bringing the heart of yoga and meditation straight into your heart. All the best and enjoy the practice with vertical firmness and clarity.